On behalf of the 10 organizations that make up the Kahnawake Communications Network, hello and welcome to the Storytellers Vault, brought to you by the Case Populaire Kahnawake's Community Development Fund. The Tellers Vault allows budding Kahnawake Hurono producers the opportunity to pitch their idea for a new local TV show to 5 community judges. Each judge has $1,000 to offer producers to get their pilot project off the ground. Each producer is hoping to obtain as much cash as possible to make their pilot project a success. On this week's episode, we are pleased to welcome our next budding filmmaker, Rahnienhawe McComber, to present his completed project here on the Tellers Vault. Before we go to his project, let's have a look at his pitch to the judges to see how that went for him.
My name is Rahnienhawe McComber. I'm applying for $500 to $1,000. We are building a tourism video in collaboration with the tourism office and Dawa. So for our first episode of our series that we plan to do is going to be about the original town of Kahnawà.
And now we go directly to the vault for Rahnienhawe's pitch.
Why don't you tell us who you are and what your idea is?
So my name is Rahnienhawe McComber, and my idea is a tourism video on the original town of Kahnawà.
Okay, so what exactly is the show going to be about?
So we plan to do a series on, I guess you can say, all things tourism. I work at the tourism office. So we had this idea to do a series since I mainly do video for them. So we had this idea to do a series on this script, I guess, for tourism. So
explain the script to us. Like, what would one episode have?
So they have these sections, I guess. Obviously, it's a new concept. Yeah, one blanket.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about what kind of entertainment value you're going to bring into this show that you're going to create?
I like this question better.
See who you like better at the end of this.
All right, I'll ask a question. I know you're working for tourism. I also know you did you did some video work in the past, and it was very well received. People liked it. What are you going to bring to this based on some of the experience you've had now, and it probably will make things a little easier because you've had the experience. So what are you hoping to bring from you into this project?
I guess I plan to bring a lot of things. I put a lot of effort and work into the last 2 documentaries that I did. The one you're referring to is the wrestling one. That we haven't even finished yet. We're still working on it because we want to perfect it. I guess I plan to do the same.
You're a detail guy?
Yeah, I'm almost like a perfectionist, I guess, when it comes to videos.
Mm-hmm.
And so you know a lot about the history of Kahnawake.
That's their job. So I'm new. I just started 3 weeks ago.
Okay. But if you're going to be doing an episode, don't you think you need to know a lot to actually do this? Because you said it was their job, and I don't understand when you mean their job.
Well, the script. Okay, so I might as well explain the episode we plan to do. So, we talked briefly about it. It's mostly because she's very busy. I'm very busy. She mostly wants to dump it all on me. And what we're gonna do is I'll ask her, what are we gonna do? We're gonna make up a script. She's gonna plan something with their tour guides, and they're going to write 5-minute pilot.
Yeah.
She
being.
She's gonna write the script.
But who is she?
Kimberly Cross.
Oh, okay.
We talked. Right. So they're gonna do that. The shots, I don't think. Mainly, I guess we would just write what shots I'm supposed to get, and if I miss something, go get the shots.
Where is this funding going towards? Okay, so I got that you're a paid employee, part of tourism here, but what are the funding dollars really for?
Yeah, so half of it I'm asking for is the drone that I plan to buy. Get to that later. the mower part of it is my own time. I wouldn't be working on this project on my work time. I only work 3 days a week, and as I said, we're pretty busy. So I wouldn't work on this at work. I'd work at this on home on the days I have off. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Would be my time.
You know, I'm listening to everything you said, and it sounds really great. But on the entertainment level, I'm not seeing any right now. So I'm out.
Technically, this is, well, what you say here on your statement is that you're going to be shooting in 4K from 16,000 feet. I jumped out of a plane at 16,000 feet. So
That would've
that's
been
pretty
still
high.
alive.
Yeah.
I said the maximum range is 6,000 feet
Oh,
before it.
6,000?
6,000 or
It says-
16?
It says 16 here.
Oh, I don't know. That's what I got from the website. Obviously, I don't have
Oh.
it yet, so
Okay.
I won't be going that high. I'm just saying the maximum range that I can fly at to capture probably the entire town in that one shot.
Any legal
Okay.
implications there?
Not in town.
Yeah,
the
that
airport.
that sounds, well, you're asking, it says 17,000 plus for this film drone.
1,700.
1,700, yes.
17. It feels like 17,000 out of my pocket, really. I can't really back this up because, well, technically I've never handled anything like that, so it's a little out of my range, but maybe some of these guys here can help you
I would
out.
like to say something. Okay, first of all, tourism is a big industry, so I will say that for that. But the filming part of it is going to be a big thing to do, and I hope you know what you're doing because this has to really be technical and deep and everything. Because if you're showing off the audience, this is Kahnawake, this is tourism. Hey, come visit us. You better know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
So for that, I'm going to help you. And I'll even mentor you if you need help. Okay? I'm willing to give you $300 to help you. It's a start.
Well, I don't know about you, Andrew, but
But do you feel about the tourism?
I'm a big believer in tourism. I'm a big believer in history. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat all the same failures. And the fact that I know what you do, I know how much work you do when it comes to a project, I know you're going to get it done. And the fact that you're going to do this basically on your own time, away from your actual job, is very impressive for me. I'm very impressed by that. I know you'll make it interesting enough, and I'm throwing in my last 200. You got mine. So good luck.
You need to show what you're talking about, culture and everything, and it has something to do with our vision statement, because we have to base all our decisions on that for the future. And this is the first time I see something that is going to put all these culture, clans, language, category, history of Kahnawake and so forth together. Usually you see a thing on tourism about Kahnawake, one section, then another film comes out, another section. But I hope you can get this all together.
Yes, and to add to that, on the educational purpose side of it, people want to come here, they're going to say, wow, and leave town and say, I was educated. So that's really important
You
too.
throwing in?
Yeah, that's why it's 300.
Very nice.
Wow.
All right. So, from my point of view, I always believed history is important, and I'm glad the tourism office is looking at something that will, I'm sure, we're not talking about a movie, we're talking about little things that.
Oh, we're talking about movies. For the series, but for the pilot, we're talking about a short movie.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, it's going to be very interesting. I'm very curious as to what it's going to look like from above, as is everybody, because that's all we see is from the airplane when we're passing over. And it's usually at night, so we never get to see it. So, wow, that's actually a really nice, I guess, amount of money that you got yourself there. So, congratulations. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
We asked Rahnienhawe for reaction to being in the hot seat pitching to the judges.
Pretty intimidating. Pretty small room with many cameras and lights. As like a second time interview for me, it's gruesome. I was actually expecting like 500, or nothing. So this is like a big raise for me, I guess. I was actually going to do it either way, but having that extra money and that leeway means I don't have to work as much and I can focus on my project.
And now we are pleased to present the completed short film by Rahnienhawe McComber titled Original Town of Kahnawà.
The town of Kahnawà was originally formed in the Mohawk Valley in the mid-1500s. Kahnawà, the word Kahnawà actually means by the rapids. And when Kahnawà was formed in Quebec in 1660s, the village was down by La Prairie and it was by the rapids, and that's why we have the name by the rapids. The first villages were originally put there, and for agricultural purposes, the village was moved. Traditionally, native people would move their village every 40 to 50 years in order to replenish the soils, keeping the crops fresh and get more growth out of your farms. There were 5 villages located along the St. Lawrence River. The 5 villages, starting in 1660, moving every 50 years or so, ended up in present-day Kahnawà in 1716. The villages all retained the same name, Kahnawà, along the way, or a form of Kahnawà. And presently, there are only 2 sites that are available for viewing. One site is still not dug up, and present-day Kahnawà from 1716 is still here for people to see. Originally, the Mohawks, when they landed in Gandage and settled in, they were farmers. Large areas of land were cleared to create farms for the whole community. Farming kept the community going, and everyone shared in the agricultural field. As time went by, the Mohawks became involved in the fur trade and started heading out through all of North America in order to obtain furs, which they brought back and sold, and that's how we changed into a different field of economy. We started to become a cash economy at around that time. The fur trade maintained the village for quite a few years, and by being in the fur trade, the people were used to being on the river, and which led to a new line of work, which was river piloting. The men knew the river well. They knew how to travel the river. So when steamers started going up and down the St. Lawrence River, the Mohawk people became integral in making that business work. They had to clear the rapids with the boats. So that was a new job for the men of Kahnawà. Once the people of Kahnawà moved to the present site in 1716, they decided to establish a mission church, which was called St. Francis Xavier's Mission. After the mission was established, in around 1800s, they decided that the church was too small. So the church was redone. They had refiguring the church. They changed the facing of the steeple. They faced the steeple towards the village, turning it away from the river, which wasn't practical anymore. Also at the church location, they have Fort St. Louis. Fort St. Louis was established in 1725 by the French regime that was running Kahnawà at the time. Fort St. Louis was never completed. The people of Kahnawà were unhappy with the plan because on the plan they had cannons facing the village, which the people at the time decided was not very safe for them. And they didn't like the idea of having to check in and check out to leave the village because of a palisaded wall around them. So Fort St. Louis was an uncompleted fort. It still is there today, and people can see the remaining walls of what was once put up by the French regime. Also part of the church complex is a shrine for Kateri Tekakwitha. She was a native woman who was born in the Mohawk Valley, who converted over to Catholicism back in 1660 something. To keep with the faith, she had to follow the Jesuit priests back up north to Quebec and moved into Kahnawak's original village at that time. When she passed away, she was buried, and she was moved to the Catholic Church when they moved back to present-day Kahnawake in 1716. In 2012, she became a saint, which led a lot of people to visit the shrine in the church, and which made Kateri a really important part of Kahnawake's history. In around 1560, 70, the Jesuit priests went down to the Mohawk Valley to preach to the Mohawk people and to convert a few people to the Catholic religion. After some wars happened left and right here, we had people were already converted, and when a war started out between the English and the French Jesuit priests had to leave the Mohawk Valley and head back north, leaving behind a whole bunch of Mohawk people who had already been converted to the Catholic religion. The people in the Mohawk Valley had no more priests to turn to, so they decided that it would be best for them to move up north into the Montreal area and settle at Gandage, which is the original village of Kahnawake, in order to further their Catholic religion. And while they were there, they had both a Catholic religion and their traditional lifestyle still continued. From Kahnawake's original site in 1660 to Kahnawake's present-day site, Kahnawake has continued to evolve while still keeping its rich and cultural history.
And that wraps up this week's episode of the Storyteller's Vault. Thank you for watching. We'd like to congratulate Rahnienhawe McComber for securing funding to create his project. Nyawagoa to the Case Populaire Kahnawake Community Development Fund for financial support, and to KahnawakeTV for providing the airtime. Be sure to tune in next week for a new episode of the Teller's Vault, when we'll present a new contestant. Until then, Onigiwahi from the Vault.